Open. Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Scratch Social. We have a busy episode today, Paddy, but let's start. How are you?
I'm grand. I've had a big down of the week. Well, it's not a big down yet. We'll get to there at the end of this episode, but it could have drastic financial implications on my future, 2-3 months. But we'll hear all about it at the end of this podcast, hopefully.
Okay, so we'll start off on a high and we'll end on the low.
That's right. The high. Isn't it great that the golf tours are back? They're back.
It's so good. It's so good. Looking back, because we did start this podcast 6 weeks ago, we did really well without any golf tournaments to get this far.
Felt like off the ball during COVID. Remember that? They were going live for like 4 or 5 hours a day for like a year and a half with no sport going on. Didn't feel like that extreme. But yeah, there's always stuff to talk about in the golf world. We're trying to make it social, so plenty to talk about. Apparel, shoes. It is the month for like all the new gear. All the new gear is coming out. So yeah, I've cash given to me at Christmas that's burning a hole in my pocket looking at it.
Nice. We don't have the new gear covered like in a full segment on this episode. However, I'm really liking the driver reviews and I really like how the players are sharing the degree, the shaft, everything like that to show you exactly what they're playing. I think this is really good. I saw TaylorMade doing a lot of it in particular, and now Callaway are on it as well. So very exciting to see
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we might do an equipment special if we can get, if the TaylorMade folks are listening, Mark Thistleton, or the Titleist folks, or the OEMs we'll call them, if they're listening, if they want to pop on and explain, come on along. Our door is open.
It sure is.
News from around the world here on Scratch Social. We covered it last week in terms of it is great, but it could be so great in terms of WTGL. But it is great that it's here. And the first player announcements came out on Monday. I was intrigued to see what a couple of my favourites show up in this list, and a couple have. We have 5 initial players. Brooke Henderson, 2-time major champion, Canadian, one of the Canada's most successful golfers ever, 13 LPGA Tour wins. She combines power, consistency, and is relentlessly positive. So I can't wait to get to know Brooke's personality a bit more over the TV screen. Charlie, get out Charlie. Played the KPMG Women's Irish Open last year. I don't know if she's playing this year, but hopefully we might have an insider on that in the weeks and months to come. Fearless. Charlie's fearless, isn't she?
Class. Yeah, she's amazing. And I think we were all crossing our fingers and hoping that Charlie would be on that list, and she is. So it's going to open golf to a whole nother spectrum of people.
I just wonder, will she be ripping cigarettes inside the sofa? Oh no, she's off the cigarettes. She is off the cigarettes, isn't she? Lydia Ko has been on tour. I think she was 16 or definitely 17 years of age. Generational talent, was world number 1 for a long time. 3-time major champion, Olympic gold medalist, has over 20 LPGA Tour wins. She's just a touch of class. She's intense, but I think her story and how she grew up in the media's eye to a level really resonates with people. A lot of people know what she's about. Someone I don't know much about, and I'm going to butcher her surname now, so I really apologise, is Gino Titikul. Thitikul. And she's one of the brightest young stars in golf. Former world number 1 with multiple LPGA Tour victories. Very composed, apparently. Very composed. All-round excellence. So I'm really excited to see and get to know personalities that don't maybe have a high or large social media presence that, I couldn't pick out who to walk past me on Grafton Street. That's my level of celebrity, And Lexi Thompson, who is an icon of women's golf, she said she'd take a little step back in the game, but I think the media heard retirement. Last year she was like, no, I'm just going to play less. I've been out here a long time. 11 wins, super athlete. I'd say she could do a higher octave of training is how fit athletically Lexi is. Very outspoken in terms of leadership and wants to drive the game forward. So delighted to see they are the chosen few thus far. Emer, who would you love to see on the next Instagram post TGL make about the women's side of things? Who would you love to see? A couple of players.
That's a very good question. I'd love to see Minjee Lee, Nelly Korda, Lottie Woad, Lauren Walsh. A real mixed bag from multiple different countries, people coming from the LET to the LPGA. I think we're going to see a lot of new young talent. I wouldn't be surprised if I see Mimi Rhodes joining that lineup after her great performance on the Ladies European Tour last year. Yeah, I think Minjee Lee is a real star. I saw her in Scotland and she's so cool and composed as well, and I think she'd make for great TV as well.
Minwoo's sister, although she is way more successful than the chef is. What happened on the men's tour? I was in and out. I Christopher at the range. I was I made pancakes for the girls on Saturday morning, so I wasn't really staying very close to what was happening on the TV. So I know you were.
Look, we'll cut to the chase. I'm not going to take from Nacho Elvira's DP World Tour win, the Dubai Invitational, but Shane Lowry unfortunately just made a double bogey on his last hole. And you know what? Like, we all watched it in a little bit of heartbreak. He's so successful. He has such a good attitude. He said himself it's going to hurt. He even described it as a disaster. But look, at the end of the day, he's so competitive. I think he has such a great year ahead of him. And even to see him and Rory like battling it out Friday, Saturday, that was really, really good. Like, it just made golf really interesting all of a sudden again, because you got PGA Tour players coming straight over to Dubai like they do every year, and they play so well. So well. But look, that little bit of heartbreak for Shane Lowry, but look, he has a win in him very soon.
Absolutely. I think he's experienced enough now, maybe, pre-Open win, that would have hit him a lot harder. I think he spoke at the time, a year before he described it as he'd lost, was it a US Open? He was leading by 4 shots and he cried in the car. So I think he's come a long way in terms of that level of resilience and being very close to Rory in terms of learning. You got to go through those moments. Funny story though, I did have what I think is funny. Is I brought Chris to the range. We'd watched Shane up to 15 at home on the TV, and we went to the range that he wanted to play some golf for. So that's priority, is bring Christopher go play golf. He wants to go play golf. And he went to chips first to watch chips, up to have chips. And at that stage, I'd seen that Lowry was in third at that stage. So I was like, oh man, what happened? And then obviously I saw the clips or whatever. But Nacho Elvira won, right? Who's Spanish, and Christopher loves languages. And Christopher wants to watch Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
He knows all the clips. So he knows the memes or whatever. So Nacho Elvira wins. He must wake up at 4 a.m. and make some soup. I was like, dude, you haven't even watched the full movie. So that was a good one. I was trying to keep up for this podcast with what was happening on the PGA Tour with the Sony Open in Hawaii. I found it very hard to watch. I don't know, was it the commentators? And that they were kind of passive or just saying things for the sake of saying them? Or was it the field? Like Chris Gotterup was in there. I recognized him from TGL. Isn't that mad? I was like, oh, he's the fellow who hit the unbelievable stinger last week. And Chris eventually won. But I struggled to identify with the tournament. I don't know if it was the way it was broadcast or the way the commentators were. I don't know. Did you get the same, or were you like, I love this?
I'm like chomping at the bit. Until you said it, I actually didn't realise it. I watched it as well for a few minutes the other day. No interest. I found it very slow. Look, maybe it's the start of the year and the broadcasters as well are just getting to grips with things as well. But I think now, with the way we consume golf, we expect a lot of different players, different shots, moving quite fast, a lot of different camera work, producers and commentators who are a bit excited. And, I don't know what it was. I think it's always kind of a less exciting event. I wouldn't say it was even the field. I just found it boring as well. It was just boring.
Maybe we were just so hyped on TGL and it's quick and there's shots and they're mic'd up. Maybe it's changing how we consume us. Well, I would say I'm definitely an OG in consuming golf tournaments like that. I'd very seldom watch every night. I kind of have it on as background noise as we chat and have tea at the table or something. So I know maybe the storyline for the week or who's where, or like, will Sunday be worth watching? Sunday was not worth watching.
No.
The Dingle game was very much worth watching, though. Danganiku, All Ireland Club champions. But yeah, that was my take. So hopefully there's a bit more energy in the next few weeks in the PGA Tour.
Yeah, it's a really good observation, because I really thought it myself, and until you said it, then just the penny dropped.
Well, I knew what my wife said to me. My wife said, "There's a non-golfer, but we'll watch a couple of the majors, or we'll watch with the TGL in the evenings with a cup of tea or something." And she was like, "What's going on? She asked me, is this like the second level tour?" She asked me, like, because it was kind of that level of production. But yeah, that's what kind of irked me then. I was like, that's all I could look at then was the production level, which says how sad I am, really.
No, I wondered do other people think that online. Let us know if you did. Speaking of being online, there's a big trend going around the last few days. I haven't done it yet, but I just saw that you did a post on it, the 2016 trend. I need to do it. I love it. Tell our listeners what you posted on yours again. It was quite interesting.
2016 trend, because I listened to 2FM this morning and they were like, oh yeah, it's everything. All the Gen Zs are doing it. Don't ask me how old you need to be a Gen Z person. So but definitely about 20, 25 years younger than me. So I found it really hard to find pictures from 2016 about it. It's basically post a few pictures from 2016 and make fun of yourself is the gist I'm getting about it, in that what you were wearing, the cut of me. You know, Christopher was around, he was 6. So like, there's obviously loads of pictures of him, but just to see how, you know, the difference in him in obviously like 9 years, he's nearly 10 years. So yeah, there's a picture of him, and I might overlay these if we clip this bit of like he's 6 years of age, and from when he was kind of 3 until he was 9, I took the same picture of Christopher at the same spot ish on the first hole in the hinge. So I have like a side by side every year, every other year when I remembered it. It takes a lot of time to create these wholesome picture projects over years. And I'm a man and I can't remember anything. And so I have a picture of him there. I have a picture like top of my backswing going up the third in the hinge.
I noticed the backswing. I noticed it.
That's changed. We're still in FootJoy back then, of course. My Joys. So I loved a good play on My Joys back then, and I was ripping it on the old premieres. There's like a side by side what I thought was improvement of my golf swing at impact. And I don't know how I played to 9, if that's how I look like at impact. An early journey when it was car golf at Spawell back in 2016 is Peter Lowry now runs that place, doesn't he? Ex-DP World Tour player. So yeah, a shot from there, me in a very tight haircut and about 25 pounds lighter, hitting a ball at the range when I was on holidays in New Jersey, in Dukes. Yeah, more Christopher. And then this my favourite one, because it's everything about what was wrong with me and my golfing style in 2016. This is actually, I think it's the last day that it did. Wait now. I'm showing this to, if you're on YouTube, you'll get this. It's the last day that the golf course at Adair Manor was open. And they ran an open day for a couple of days. Now, it might be 2016. This picture might have been one of those ones I reposted from. Like, this was how good I was last year. I can't exactly remember. This might be truly 2016. But I had to include it in this trend because of the cut of me. The absolute state. I'm wearing IJP tartan trousers. That's Ian James Poulter tartan trousers, secured from his website. The whitest of white belts. Yeah, and J. Lindeberg by Puma shoes. So yeah, somebody thought he was on tour with Jesper Parnevik. Yeah, so that's the cut of me there now. So I don't mind poking fun at myself. Back in the day, I think that's what that whole trend is about. But yeah, if you want to drop a cheeky comment of the state of me, particularly in the last photo, in that, it's not a collage, what do they call it? A carousel. Good friend of mine and of my wife's doesn't say carousel, he says carousel. And I can never unhear it being pronounced that way. So if you want to have a good jibe at me, feel free on that 2016 trend there on the Instagram machine.
Very good. Oh, I liked the Jasper Parnevik comment. Look, at least Ian Poulter and Jasper Parnevik, you know, they can walk the walk. And so can you.
I don't know.
Playing off 1 now, 2, 1?
Two-ish,
Nice.
subject to further instruction.
Nice.
Ryan Gibbon. I was just thinking there when you said Jesper Parnevik, what year was this? 2002, I think, was definitely my era for peak golf fashion, because I was head to toe Lindbergh. Head to toe. Went to Stockholm on family holiday, and all I did was go to the range every day. But on the first day we went into the city, and I bought 3-4 full head to toe Lindbergh outfits. I was loaded, caddying all summer. So yeah, white pants, pink pants, blue pants. Yeah, all the highlighter colours.
Nice.
So if it didn't play well, you definitely saw me coming.
And they remember you. But anyway, that sort of wraps up our golf update segment, social media trends. And in other good news, the LPGA is back at the end of the month. We've had the DP World Tour, the PGA Tour coming back already, which is great. LPGA is back end of the month. And then the Ladies European Tour returns the first week of February. So lots of golf to come.
Really looking forward to that, because that is my go-to thing to have on Saturdays when I'm making the breakfast, or on Sundays, is because it tends to be on like maybe for the first half of the day, wherever they are geographically. So I'm looking forward to that and continuing the brainwashing of my 2 girls.
I love it. You know, anytime I watch women's golf now, I actually think Paddy has this. I should be sending it to you now for your daughters. Community member questions and emails. Our favourite segment. Okay, we had a really interesting email from a guy with a great name, Danny Doyle, Double D. What a great name.
Could be a film director.
Totally. Or a singer, anything like that. Anyway, Danny, thank you so much for your email. Danny's email says, really enjoying the podcast. Best wishes with it for 2026. Thank you. I have a hypothetical question for you to stew over.
Say that word again, Emer.
Hypothetical.
Say that word again.
Hypothetical?
Do you know when Kerry Radio, when
Hypothetical.
Wishy Fogarty
Hypothetical.
pronounced Beyonce?
Hypothetical.
Beyonce. You just had your Beyonce moment.
Fiagle. And I was like, I knew the word isn't right. Paddy, we cannot put that into this.
We
I'll
have
look
to
like
keep
an
some of that
idiot.
in. That's too good not to put in.
Hypothetical. No, that's
Say
so
that word
embarrassing.
again.
Hypothetical. It's the first time I'm reading this. Hypothetical. Hypothetical. Isn't that the
I don't
word?
even know how you pronounced it wrong the first time. We're definitely making an outtake clip. I don't care. We're making an outtake clip and it's going on the
Hypothetical.
internet.
Oh my God. That is so bad. Oh God. Okay.
Like
anyway,
from the top, McMahon. It's from the
we'll
top.
try this again.
Really enjoying from the top.
Oh, God. We had a great email from a lovely man called Danny Doyle. And Danny, we love your name. So cool.
Could be film director with.
Danny's email says, I have a hypothetical question for you to stew over. You can only play 2 golf courses for the rest of your life. 1 links and 1 parkland. What would they both be? Just in Ireland or international? Cheers, folks. Paddy, I think this is such a good question and we're going to cover this over 2 episodes. So today I'm passing the baton to you.
Cool. And I'll throw it back to you next week. Let's cover both the links and parkland for Ireland and then pretend I had a private jet and I could do 1 links and 1 parkland internationally because it saves me then because I have 2 favourite links courses on the planet. So on the island of Ireland, right? So we're not going to get into politics. It's an island and there's Ireland in both countries' names. Links course, Tralee Golf Links. 1 bazillion%. It's links, you'll get it, a different view of it. Every day you play it. The front 9 is catching up big time on the quality of the back 9. I was there at the weekend. There's still works going on the back 9, little tweaks here and there. So I'm really excited to play it. Hopefully this side of the Arnold Palmer Cup will be fantastic. So I'll be tapping up a few of my former football mates down there in Tralee. Tralee is also a fantastic clubhouse, a fantastic community. You know, the hospitality and friendliness isn't just for the tourists, it's for every single person that comes in, that drives up that little lane up to Barrow. So that's links in Ireland, on the island of Ireland. Parkland, the golf course at Adair Manor. Why? Because there isn't a millimetre out of place. I loved the 2 times I played there. I played, as the superintendent asked me after I played there the last time, which do you prefer, old or new? As I had played it pre-changes and obviously 3, maybe even 4 years ago, I played post-changes. It's immaculate. I don't care about people say, oh, it's too expensive. Or I'm like, just don't go out. Don't go out for 4 Saturdays, maybe even 3 Saturdays. If it's Dublin, maybe 2 Saturdays. And you have the price of a Adair Manor in your back pocket. So yeah, it is impeccable. It is 6-star, 7-star service, if that was the thing. Not only the community endeavours of Mr. McManus who owns it, but it's just impeccable. I think when I did a podcast there a few years ago, I think that word I used a lot was just like, it's just incredible. That's all I could say over and over and over again. International, 1 links and 1 parkland. If I had only 1 option to play every day. Links, Royal Port Rush. Royal Port Rush, I think we've covered this before. There isn't a weak hole in it. Depending on the weather, you could play it out of every tee box, and it's a challenge from every tee box. Yeah, the history that's there, the championships that have been there, again, the hospitality that's there. It's in the town. You know, might just play 2 holes and whip up to the Harbour Bar for the rest of the day. You know, plenty of options. One of the best scenic walks you can do on the planet is around that area up around Port Stewart and that, Royal Port Rush. Parkland Olympic Club in San Francisco. I was lucky enough, I was over there for work, and obviously you take the weekend beforehand, and I got hosted at Olympic Club. We played the Lakes course, the one that has had 5 US Opens. And this was early doors. It was like 2018. I didn't have as much golfing knowledge as I have now. So it kind of went over my head a little bit, but yeah, it was incredible. The golf course at Adair Manor is better. It is better. But just, again, the history that amateur championships had, the amateur, or the US amateur, it's had 5 US Opens. The whole size it was good crack, good fun. So yeah, Olympic Club for me there. Loads of Irish members, in fact, at a posse crew inside. Who's Pádraig Harrington's caddy again?
Ronan.
I think his brother is a member. So he was pointing out, that's Ronan Flood's brother. That's Floody over there. So didn't introduce myself. Was too shy back then. I wouldn't wait a millisecond these days. But yeah, so if people get the opportunity, or you're only 1 person away from knowing someone who knows someone. So yeah, it's an incredible experience.
That's amazing. I think you've picked amazing choices. Yeah, fair play to you. And one caveat that we did put into this was that you can't be a member of this club.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't pick your local club or your own club. Yeah. So you're kind of goose there.
And because I think we both would.
I'm like, yeah. On both Ireland and international. Okay, Emer, bucket list course for 2026. Where have you on your list?
So my 2026 bucket list course this week is Lochern up in Enniskillen in County Fermanagh. I was not familiar with this resort in as much detail as I know now because they were nominated for Resort of the Year at the Golf Course Awards. So I went up and played it before Christmas. It was a really cold but a clear day. Paddy, have you played it?
I've not played it. It's on my list though.
Oh my God, it's absolutely class. To describe it, you start off like playing the first couple of holes in the woodlands of Lochern, and then all of a sudden it opens out and you are playing across the lake. It is absolutely class. So it can be described as like Lochern has a really nice rhythm. The opening holes feel more sheltered and traditional, and then the course opens up into like big massive lakeside drama. It honestly feels like you can just see for miles on a clear day. It's absolutely class. Somebody said to me when we were up there playing, the golf course turns up the volume when you hit the middle stretch. And that is so true. It is such a good way to describe the course. And it's the kind of course, like, it's certainly not easy. Again, I played off the white tees with Kev, so I'm challenging myself. It's actually not easy at all. It's not forgiving. It's a Nick Faldo designed course. You have to keep the ball straight. Even the safe shot at Lochern makes you feel nervous, but it's very big risk reward. It's a great course. I'd highly recommend it. Enniskillen is a great town as well, some great pubs. Myself and Kev went and watched a rugby match up there, had great pints of Guinness. So yeah, highly recommend it for a bucket list trip for 2026.
That should stay and play 100%, or a little lads trip, or a little social trip perhaps. But that might be too bad. We are planning some stuff. Once the weather gets better, we are carving out the weekends. We are carving them out.
If listeners now, if they follow our individual channels, Paddy has been like on his mobility in the Trackman. I am now in the Trackman and I'm on the mobility because it's competitive, Paddy. Yeah, we're friends, we're co-hosts, but like we want to beat each other.
Yeah, we might have to flip a coin or put up a poll or something on Instagram. How many shots does Paddy get off Emer? You know, something like that.
I get 6 off you. I get 6.
We'll see about that. Might just play for pride.
Yeah, exactly. So that's Lochern. Love it. Great course. Lucky, very, very lucky to play it. And back to our usual weekly segment, our bucket list course for €50. Paddy, talk to me.
Golf course under €50. Well, firstly, thanks to Michael Waters, I think it is Waters, who gave us our entry for last week over on the TikTok machine, was it? So I think it's a good opportunity. So thanks, Michael, for getting in touch. Hit us up on @ScratchSocialHQ on all social media platforms. We have a website, scratchsocialhq.com. We have an email, podcast@scratchsocialhq.com. Very original with the names, so we are. But I think we'll take more entries from listeners or commenters for this section. So what I've done is I've gone through the TikTok machine, and in from Stephen Lennon, and I actually lived there for a few months back in 2009, is Tramore. So Stephen recommends Tramore Golf Club in County Waterford, Seamus Power country, Gary Hurley country. They might be saying they're a bit more West Waterford. But Stephen says it's in super condition, and this is a recent post. So Stephen, I'm assuming end of January, you're saying it's super condition. So looking forward to that. Fairways are fantastic. Open singles are on Wednesdays and Fridays for €35. So golf course under €50, Tramore Golf Club in Waterford.
Brilliant. And it's actually great because like now that we have had so many different recommendations, let's do an Instagram poll and let's let our listeners decide what we're going to feature. We'll do a deep dive. We'll get some content. We'll get some feedback, some aerial shots, whatever we need to do, because we haven't played every golf course in Ireland, but between us and our community, I think we have. So let's do that. And yeah, thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Michael Waters, because you've set us off on a new journey with this, and it's great to get the recommendations because it does impact the courses in a positive way.
No, 100%. We got some great feedback from
Clover Hill.
Not Clontarf. Clover Hill. Why did I think of Clontarf? Got some great feedback from Clover Hill on what we featured there last week. So looking forward to showcasing these courses a little more, especially if you know, the people that are listening have definitely played more golf than us two combined. So today is Wednesday. So if you're listening to this podcast on Wednesday, there'll be a poll on our Instagram from about this afternoon, because people tend to be on their phones at lunchtime or from 3 o'clock on. Don't be scrolling when you're meant to be selling. We're told at work. So I'll put a poll up there later on and put in your recommendations for golf course under €50 for next week's podcast. That'd be great.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. This has been a quick episode. We actually said at the start of our journey together, we try keep them to 30 minutes, and this is our closest one, I'd say. So let's just dive right in. Paddy, what is your up and down of the week?
And down of the week. Well, the up. I am really, I feel like Father Ted now. Dougal, you're really dark blue socks. Really enjoying the practice. Years ago, I wouldn't describe myself as a range rat at all, but I absolutely love it now. I love the whole process of feeling the feel. You might feel the feel once every 8 swings, and then it becomes once every 5, and then it's once in every 3, and that's kind of where I'm at, once in every 3. So once it's 10 of every 10, we're in a good place. So I'm only about, 10,000 balls away from that. But I really enjoy that process. I'm actually really enjoying the daily mobility. So just because I don't put it on Instagram doesn't means it didn't happen. I'm conscious of it becoming monotonous. There's Paddy throwing some shapes every day. So I've reined that back in because my page was suddenly turning into I'm not a mobility specialist. So I'm just conscious. People are starting to ask me then, what should I be doing? I'm like, whoa, like not my banjo, right? So I really enjoy the daily mobility because the two girls join in. 5 minutes turns into like 10 or 15 minutes of full acting around the place, but get a bit of movement in. Really enjoying getting moving. I'm making it part of my day. I brought running shoes to the office, did a cheeky 2K at lunchtime. That hasn't happened since pre-COVID, where I exercised during the day at work. Yeah, so I'm seeing some good consistency in that and in the gym. Fun fact, I love the gym I'm in, the Shed in Naas. I was a member in the other best gym in Naas, Unit 3 gym. And my wife won a membership there. And then I got a DM going, oh yeah, Sheena won that, but it's for whoever she mentioned the post as well. So I also have free month in Unit 3. They run the best classes. The Shed is like run a few classes, maybe one in the morning, higher and stuff in the evening. They do a run club. While Unit 3 have more an array of classes during the day and stuff, like work from home lunchtime, and some of the best coaches down there as well. So I'll never remember his name. I forget one of the co-owners. Gary Cully is involved in it, the boxer. There's a cafe next door. They do Pilates upstairs, but I'll never forget his name. He'll kill me now when I go up there, and he'll go extra hard me in this class I'll go into. But he was in the SAS Ireland show as number 13. So I'll never say, well, there's number 13. I can never remember his name. The down this week, well, we said at the top of the episode, it's like a foreshadowing. It's the car. The car. Midway through December, it was like, oh, it's very cold in the car. And we don't have heated seats or any of that jazz. I'm from Clare. I don't need no heated seats. But like it has like AC, not air con. Do you know, it has the fans. Like the fans were blowing out cold air. And I was like, oh, that's not ideal now. It's getting cold. And now it's kind of just as cold in the car. Oh. Yeah. And then coolant low. So good, just. And I was like, oh, that's probably because of the bit of frost and stuff we're getting. Added in coolant. I was going to find for 3 weeks. I was kind of checking it whenever I'm on a flat surface for coolant. Yeah, all good. And then coolant again, like the week of Christmas. I was okay, we need to get this checked here. So we replaced like the cap of the coolant tank on top, because that seemed a bit like it's meant to be like vacuum closed, and it didn't seem to be vacuum closed, and that was grand. And then I was driving home. I was trying to get the girls from creche yesterday. At the time of recording, it'd be Monday, yeah. So, and this white smoke just started coming out the back of the car. Like when you accelerate. So it's all grand. Like parked up at the train station all day, landed home. It's about 7 kilometres to creche. And every time you accelerate, out the back of the car. Now I kind of get away with it because it's not black, it's white. And there's a little bit of like exhaust. That's a bit of white from other cars because it is cold. But this is like, cars are giving myself a bit of distance here. So I've put into ChatGPT, a couple of things. But I'd say it's a 4-figure price tag anyway to get it fixed. And we normally go to mechanic down in Kerry, but I wouldn't trust this yoke for a 240 kilometre journey. And I don't know, if all you want is help me out with a car, you know where I live, folks. So yeah, the down could potentially affect that money currently burning a hole in my pocket for new golf gear.
God, I'm sorry to hear that. There's nothing worse. But look, you don't know what it is until you go to a mechanic. It might not be that bad.
ChatGPT says it's bad. Could be about 1,500 quid anyway. Emer, what is your up and down of the week? Should be on a mug.
So my up is that I've organised pretty much my whole year. Bar anything that pops up, I've got couple of weddings, hens, golf trips, holidays for my mom's birthday, few other bits, loads of golf competitions, a golf trip to England, to the north of England, sorry. And so I'm just absolutely buzzing. I literally have it all mapped out, all my events and everything. So it feels good. And I know I've probably 10 other golf trips to add in, hopefully, if everything works out.
Hopefully.
And so, yeah, it just feels good. I really feel like I've got my S together.
Very nice. What's the down of the week? Or is just everything super good?
No,
Super up?
my down, it's actually, no, look, everything is all good. But my down is that I did the most amazing meal prep for the week today. But sure, then it tasted so good. I was eating it then for my dinner, and now I've lost out a meal of meal prep for the rest of the week. So it's just more effort. That's all. There's nothing else to be down about, to be honest.
Very good. Well, thank you for having the crack for the last 35, 36 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for pressing play this week and who have pressed play repeatedly over the past 10 and now 11 episodes. It's not lost on us. We appreciate it. We've landed out of nowhere onto your feeds and you seem to be enjoying it. So we'll keep, as long as we're having fun, I think we want to keep pressing record.
100%. And we'll be back out on the golf course very soon. And no doubt in these episodes, we will have weekly ups and downs, more about trials and tribulations that we've both had on the golf course. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, thanks everyone for listening. And thanks to my co-host for another great evening of recording.
From me, Paddy.
And me, Emer.
Slán for now.
Slán.